So now I show off the cheap part of Unleashed HD. I definitely prefer this in the Wii version. Like in the Wii version, this is easily one of the most fun levels in the game. Here, well, it sucks right away. Now this isn't the fault of the Unleashed project, they are just trying to keep true to the original. But look at that! How is that fun? Like you're in a long stretch of land, and I guess you have to quick step to avoid boosting straight into those purple spikes. I don't really see how that's fun. Also, this is the first time when cannons are mandatory. I don't think cannons should be mandatory. I think that they should be something that you use to get to a higher route. Not something that you have to repeat. It's something you have to repeat sections of level design if you screw them up. Like usually it's kind of hard to tell what you should do in the cannons to progress, like because of the way the camera is in a 2D section. It's kind of hard to tell, like should I go up or should I go right? Will up send me into an alternate route or not? Oh, these things. You only have to stomp them once here, but in the HD version, you have to stomp on them 3 times. It's like it already breaks the flow and pace just having to stomp them at all. Not to mention the controls aren't really suited for walking around normally. So it's kind of awkward even precisely maneuvering yourself so that you can stomp on switches in the first place. You can boost in the toboggan here. I don't believe that you can do it in the HD version of Unleashed. It's just something that Generations added. I've heard that it controls a lot better in the Unleashed project. Okay, that section, you can veer to the right and fall to your death there because you just exited a 2D section. But anyways, that toboggan section is a lot more cheap in the HD version because in the HD version, it tricks you into jumping over ramps to your death because it told you to jump a whole bunch. But in the Unleashed project, they save you from that mind trickery by putting a dash pad there so that you think, okay, I should hit that dash pad. And then the dash pad sends you into the ramp rather than you jumping over it. Because normally you'd be like, you panic because you died the previous time because you hadn't really jumped. So you overcompensate and react, God, you're so slippery. You're sliding all over the place there. Why do I have to do that? And here, I guess you have to, yeah, there you go. Like, that's pretty good, actually. If you stay in the cannons for too long, then they throw you out of them. And you just fall straight down. Which can kill you in some instances. But yeah, like, this has an alright theme song. And again, that is really satisfying in 2D. Oh, God! And it slides to a stop again, because it's a 2D section. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, you don't really run that fast unless you're boosting in 2D. So, you hold right, and then all of a sudden you're going all over the place, and suddenly right is the wrong way to hold. You see a bunch of X's there, and they remind me of Knuckles Chaotix, the special stages. So they make me think that they're warning me about bottomless pits. But they're not always doing that. Yeah, I see ice physics can easily kill you, as you bump into enemies and then get knocked off the pit. The red rings are pretty hard to get here, because the ice is so slippery. I guess you should jump a bunch, and that'll make it less likely that you overshoot them or something. Like, it feels really cheap putting red rings here in a forced forward movement section. But at least it controls better than in the HD version. People may complain that having warning signs of bottomless pits in Generations is hand-holdy, but honestly I say it's good game design. It's not always going to be clear when you'll just fall into a lower route and when it's actually a bottomless pit. Especially in a 2D section. In a 3D section, you can at least have the camera be pointing downwards so that you can see that it's pointing so you can see that it's water or something. But yeah, I think the warning sign's a very good game design. But now we've got Shamar. It's my favorite level in the Wii version. It's terrible in the HD version. There's so much in your way. That's really the biggest problem with it. Look at how awkward this is. There's a lot of instances where you pretty much have to be quick-stepping a whole bunch, because otherwise you'll be sent straight into stuff in long stretches of land. And see those pedestrians walking by? Well, you can actually run into them and get stopped by them. It doesn't make any sense that they don't just, you know, die or something. Like in Sonic Adventure 2, when you ran into cars that were on the road in City Escape, you just destroyed them. You didn't get stopped by them and have your flow and momentum destroyed. These guys that you just jumped over right here, look, they stop you. You know, that's something that the Unleashed project added back in that I really wish that they just didn't. I mean, it's accurate, sure, but there's also lots of instances in this level where you have to slide. And I don't understand why anyone defends the slide move at all. It just breaks the pace. I have a problem with tricks in Generations. Like, you'll notice that I don't do them right a lot. Sometimes I'm very clearly mashing the L button. Never mind the fact that it's confusing that it says just L when there's two L buttons. So how are you supposed to know which one they want you to do? There's arrows surrounding the L when you're supposed to do a trick. But I can swear that I'm pressing the directions they want me to, and I don't do this trick anyways. Not to mention the fact that in Adventure 2, when you did a trick off a ramp, and Adventure 1 as well, you were always, well, in Adventure 1 you were always facing forwards even when you were doing a trick off a ramp, so you still felt like you were progressing with the level, rather than wasting your time. Like, in the 2D section, it's the same camera angle all the time. But in the 3D sections, it kind of feels like it's a waste of time and the tricks are just for show. Like, maybe the tricks give you extra boost energy, but I don't find it that noticeable. So I don't really care about the tricks. And another thing, in the HD version, there's a lot of QTE ramps, and you pretty much have to get the long string of QTE sequences right, or you might die or something. I still like the music of this level when I'm playing through it. It's pretty cool. Like, again, the fact that you hear the boosts constantly when you're playing the level, it helps make the melody of it feel less empty, because it mostly just puts focus on one instrument. I really love how there's a trail of rings leading down to that platform, because it makes it obvious where you should stop to land on the platform. And even in the HD version of Unleashed, they still had those trails of rings. Like, generally you can always trust the rings. They'll tell you where you need to go. I really hate this wall running section. And to go figure, I tried to record it and I died to the one part of it that I didn't die to a whole bunch when I first played it. This wall right here, it didn't occur to me when I first played the level that I could go far enough to the left to get past it. Like, I guess it was the lighting. It took me 8 minutes to beat this level when I first played it. It was mostly because of that wall running section. And I didn't even get an E. 8 minutes isn't even an E. It's a C. But now we're coming to Empire City. It's a pretty fun level. Like with Arid Sands, you had a lot of instances where you pretty much had to do the light speed dash to get past certain routes, which sucked. Well, I say that, but Empire City actually does have a mandatory part of it where you have to do light speed dash to progress, which sucks. This is a fun level though. It has good platforming, and it has good speed sections. Although something I've noticed is that either you don't have a drop shadow at all, or it takes forever to appear. And this makes it pretty difficult to accurately land on the platforms, because it's not like you always have a shadow right beneath you, showing where you're going to land. So precise platforming can be a bit awkward. That and the fact that, look, see? I stomped onto spikes because I didn't know I was directly above them. Especially not with the kind of camera angle I have, where it's right behind me. And look! I'm so nervous and I have to go so close to the Lightspeed trail just to... Why is it like that? Those X's only damage you. Like, even if you're on rails, they aren't going to send you falling through death. So it's pretty weird because you expect them to be a lot more dangerous than they are. But yeah, I like this level. The music is pretty forgettable, but this is an interesting section. Like, I like this kind of challenge. Like, I believe you can actually go through it still going fast if you just have the right timing. But yeah, like, I like the aesthetic of this place, the New York area. I like the fact that you run up skyscrapers. It's a cool set piece. Much like running around Big Ben in Rooftop Run. Which I believe you do in the Wii version too, but still. And of course, more sliding areas. That's fun. And I guess you should follow the trail's rings there too, because the rings guide you up to the wall so that you don't get yourself hurt by the spikes. What I discovered by the time that I had finished recording Rooftop Run was that apparently I was showing off the low-end version of the Unleashed project for Abatos and Missouri, and for most of Rooftop Run. I didn't realize that I had enabled low-end mod. Like, it didn't really occur to me that that was actually something that I didn't have to enable. But yeah, it really goes to show you how crash-prone Rooftop Run can be, when even though I had the low-end version of the Unleashed project enabled, it still crashed on me a whole bunch when I was trying to record it. And there's the fact that I even tried recording in the lowest possible resolution, and it still ended up crashing on me. And then I decided to record it on the highest resolution again, doing the exact same thing I did the first time, and then randomly decided to not crash it. Like, okay. But anyways, this is a pretty fun level. Like, this is a cool set piece. I really like this. Like, this is a kind of excitement in a level like this. This is why I play Sonic games. Like, the thrills and the excitement. Like, I really do love how fast the boost gameplay can be. Like, my only big complaint is that the levels are all the same. Like, the order that all of the gimmicks appear in differs, and the aesthetic is different, but it's all the same, really. There's really nothing to talk about. I hate that thing, that gold spear, because it distracts you and brings your eye to it, and so you try to land on it instead of the gold ring that's much smaller than it, and, like, it's weird, it's stupid. I think it's supposed to be the Golden Globe. This part, right here, I died so many times to it when I first played this level, because I was trying to boost, and you really shouldn't boost at all here. This was actually the first time that I ever managed to beat this section without dying. Like, you just have to make sure not to boost, because if you boost, you might not react quickly enough with your quick stepping. Like, I felt like this was straight out of a ROM hack when I first played it. But anyways, that's not the only part of the level that's really annoying. There's lots of bottomless pits here, lots of ways you can die. And of course there's the fact that Adabat is infamous for being the area where the frame rate really drops the ball. And again, Adabat plays so smoothly when I play it without recording it. But when I tried to record it, like the instant that I hit the record button, it dropped to 12 frames per second. And I'm talking about later on in the level, because right now it's really not that bad. But, whoa, here we go. Wow. But you know what, I'm not really that ashamed of the choppy footage here, because it's a perfect representation of what the HD version of Unleashed was like. This is how choppy it was in the actual game. This actually kind of makes the level harder to do. Like, if it was actual slowdown, then it would make it a lot easier because, well, unless there was input lag, when you're going through a fast gameplay style, so input lag is not really something you can afford to have. But god damn it! Why did I homing attack to my death instead of homing attacking that spring? What, was it below me? That shouldn't matter, it's a homing attack. A homing attack should not be able to miss. Like, how hard is it to program it to not miss? And you've got yet another one of these sections. Like, they're fun, but they happen so often. I really hope they don't bring them back in Generations. I haven't played that game yet, but... Well, I am playing now, but... The Unleashed project is all I've really played. Like, this is pretty cool, this water running section. Hit the dash pads. The dash pads are the areas that you really want to aim for. Because this level doesn't really have much direction in the water running sections. So just run into the dash pads, which, again, aren't really making it very obvious from a distance because of the way they look. Like, they're mostly black, so they don't instantly pop out in your mind. Like, speaking of that, when you have the arrows show up when you're supposed to do a trick, the arrows are white. So it's not like they instantly register in your mind. Like, if they were bright red or pink or something, then they would instantly register rather than just being transparent white. But my point is, these water running sections I died to so many times when I first played the level. The water geysers that suddenly pop out. And this. Yeah, like I got killed by a water geyser, but another thing is that you can easily end up running into the walls because the controls aren't really that great. Like you're constantly veering to the left and right. Because if you don't constantly move a little to the left or right on the control stick, then you're going to be veering to the left or right a little anyways. Or at least that's what it feels like. Like, it's harder than it looks to avoid running into the walls. It's like, look, I was staying on the right side of that narrow platform. The platform is way too narrow considering the kind of controls you have. And like, I don't feel like this area has much of a sense of direction. Like, I guess you have to follow the trails of rings, and these naturally lead you here. But good luck even getting to this area in the first place without dying a whole bunch. I think it's the water that causes the frame rate to really dip. And again, why are you expected to completely stop the pace just to stomp onto this thing? And again, in the HD version, you have to stomp onto it 3 times. Because that was a great idea. I really didn't like this level when I first played it. And I don't entirely like this level now. Now, what we're introduced to here is actually a pretty creative challenge. Basically, there's this spinning spring with spikes on the bottom of it. And you gotta time it just right so that you homing attack onto the spring. So you gotta carefully watch as it spins around. I like that, I like it. It's a creative challenge. And you got the pendulums from Chun-Nan Knight in the Wii version. And of course you gotta time using the cannons right, but the problem is that you're only allowed to be in the cannons for a limited amount of time. It's not like there's a blatant timer on screen or something telling you how much time you have left in the cannon. So it's not entirely fair to expect you not to rush and press the button as soon as possible, because you don't know how much time you might have left in the cannon. Fun fact, Casino Night Zone's prototype concept art was pink and blue. It was more based around the card games in Las Vegas than the 5-star hotels, which is pretty similar to the casino area in Sonic 4. Also, there was planned in Sonic 2 to be a credit zone in the form of a sky chase level, but it was scrapped, probably because it made sitting through the credits feel even more boring than it already was. Because you'd have, like, your Sonic character just standing there, and you'd want to play through an actual level. And the names of the people being credited probably would have been obscure if I Sonic couldn't play it anyways. But yeah, you can actually find that credit zone in the Sonic the Lost World hack, which Brain Scratch showed up. That's another pretty cool, creative concept. Like the walls, the ceiling crushing down at you, and you've got to boost really quickly to get past it. You got a lot of nice aesthetics for this, for Unleashed in general. Like, the aesthetics of Unleashed are a little too realistic, but they generally look good, at least. Hidden Palace Zone in Sonic 2 was going to only be accessible by having all of the Chaos Emeralds by the time you got there. The so-called Master Emeralds that the zone became famous for were breakable objects, like the rocks of Angel Island Zone. Like, that's kind of weird. Like, it really does give you the funny image of Knuckles chasing after Sonic going, "Hey, stop destroying my Master Emeralds, you idiot! Those are important!" Like, it's kind of weird that... Like, I guess they were just regular emeralds. In the Sonic 2 remake, you would jump onto a Master Emerald in Proto Palace Zone in order to end the level. It was also pretty short, and like, I've played Proto Palace Zone. Well, I didn't actually play it, I just watched a video of it. And it looked to be basically a Mario level. A lot of jumping upstairs, not really that fast. Really awkwardly designed. But finally, the level's over. 8.5 minutes. That is insane. But yeah, that was the Unleashed project. And to be honest, I'm still not entirely sure if I prefer the levels of HD Unleashed to Re-Unleashed. Abatos is definitely better in HD, but Holoska and Shamar clearly aren't. And Adabat has the frame rate issue. And I'm not sure about which is worse, China in Wii or China in HD. I guess I'd go with the HD because of the huge camera problem. Missouri, well, there's no Wii version of Missouri, so you got me there. But Rooftop Run is definitely better in the HD version. Anyways, the next game after this will be Sonic 4 Episode 1.